Hello there, Twitch. Good afternoon. How are you all doing today? Sorry for the slightly late start. I forgot to get myself a drink. Hey, one Kevin Griffin's in the house. Good to see you, Kevin Griffin. I think I should give him a shout out since he is here. I was in his stream, spent a lot of time in his stream yesterday, the day before, something like that. It was a lot of fun. Definitely worth a follow. I know Kevin Griffin for a long time now, but great stream. Roy Kazak, hello. Good to see you, Roy. Thanks for hanging out. I'm glad you're all here. I don't have super ambitious plans for today's stream, so we're just going to kind of wing it. There's some bugs in the backlog of the chatbot that I got to fix and look into. Shouldn't be too big a deal. I do have to, I'm open to answering any questions. Anything you want to look at today, I'm open to that, absolutely. And I've got a little bit of prep work I need to do for the CentralOhio.net developers group tonight. That's the conduct here. So I'm going to copy this over and go over to my normal intro text. And I'll put that down here for what we're going to do today. But let's go. Let's start from the top here. We're fixing bugs, answering questions, just maybe hanging out, maybe a little bit more of a relaxed stream. No super tight agenda for the next 2 hours, so it might be a good one to lurk or try out the new lurk command of the bot. I got some apps still open that are making rackets, so I'm going to close those here. All right, but yeah, questions today, absolutely. I want to emphasize questions some more. Yeah, thanks for testing out the lurk command there, Kevin Griff. Appreciate that. The only stupid question is the one you don't ask. So ask away, especially today. We got time. I got time to answer questions. If you want to look into some C#, some .NET stuff, some Couchbase stuff, SQL, back-end type stuff, I'm all for it. If you want to talk Twitch, streaming tools, anything like that. Oh, I didn't shut down the other thing making racket. Oh, it's not shutting down. So yeah, anything like that, ask away. I am all open to it. So let's go through the normal plugs here. We got the live coders. Whoops. I don't need to show that one. Nothing terribly sensitive on there. Just doesn't need to be on the stream. I am a member of Twitch Live Coders team, the Live Coders. We are a team 148 strong members right now. So if you're interested in finding some live coding any time of the day, chances are all the time zones here are covered. Go to twitch.tv/team/livecoders and you can see who's streaming right now. And right now, I'm going to come back to this page later on in the stream to raid. Although I think there's another person who's not on the team, at least not yet, that we may want to raid later on today. One of my colleagues who's just getting started in the streaming game. So we'll see if he's online come the end of this stream, and then we'll raid somebody for sure. Love to do a good raid. If you're also looking for other live streamers, you can check out the awesome developer streams. Kevin Griff, I'm not regular enough to be in live coders. That's a little too much detail for me. No, just kidding. That's why you're streaming daily now. Yeah, that's cool. Love to have you on a team. Your stream was really fun. Really good stuff. So that would be cool. Yeah, there are some certain requirements to be on the team. One of them is like a regular streaming schedule. Awesome Developer Streams is a good list. Why did it not trigger your intro video, Surly Dev? That's what I'm interested in. Because you should have a brand new intro video. And that's concerning that it didn't work. No, you don't have to do a bang Surly Dev. It should just work. Surly Dev. There it is. Surly Dev. You need to drop off your burgers? Well, here's what it should look like.
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. I don't normally show.
That's what it's supposed to look like, but it's supposed to be automatic. So maybe we have another bug. So I'm going to add that to the list here of bugs to fix. So we've got Surly Dev arrival. Didn't work. All right, Surly Dev. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. So I'll look into that a little bit more. All right. Anyway, awesome developer streaming list. I think Surly Dev mentions that because he is one of the main contributors to it, if not the top contributor. But anyway, you can see a big text file here of people who are streaming, who are live coding. You don't have to be on a Twitch team, by the way. So Kevin Griffin, you might want to consider getting yourself added. Oh, you already have. Look at that. There's Kevin Griffin. Excuse me. So if you were doing a search for C#, for instance, you would find Kevin Griffin here. Just do a Control F on your browser, and you can search for all kinds of keywords. So C#, .NET, ASP.NET, 3D printing. See, Kevin's done a lot of that recently. Conference planning, and more. Yes. So definitely that one you should check out. So you click on this and you get more info, like where he's streaming on Twitch. It doesn't have to be Twitch either. It could be Mixer, YouTube, Periscope, Facebook, whatever. This list will list them all. You can also see Kevin Griffin's Twitter, GitHub, website, and so on. And maybe the chatbot. Yeah, let me just refresh it and see if that was what the problem was. Okay, so anyway, that is a good place to start if you're looking for people to follow on streaming. Live coding, and you can follow. You can find my YouTube videos there, bit.ly/GroveStubes. You can see the link right over here, as well, and you can find all the videos that. Well, I guess most 99% of the videos that I record on Twitch will make their way over to YouTube, so you can watch them on 2x speed or skip ahead through them or whatever you want to do. And absolutely, you can leave comments there. I think I did get a comment, by the way, but might have been actually deleted after it was asked on the YouTube channel. But I still have the email, so I might answer the question today anyway. So we'll get to that. But anyway, you can find all the videos there on YouTube, bit.ly/GrowsTube. You can find Twitch videos and everything else I post on YouTube goes there as well. Upcoming events. So this was yesterday. I was a guest on Andra Bus's stream, which I learned the bus is here because he is literally a bus driver. He says a bus driver as a hobby, which is interesting. Never known that to be a hobby before. But apparently in Czech Republic, you can drive a bus as kind of like a hobby. So anyway, that was a fun stream. We had a couple of technical problems with the streaming software and things like that, but it was a really good stream. Hopefully I'll have video, or hopefully he'll post video of that in the future. You can check that out. But another good follow there, I will give him a shout out as well. Definitely want to check out Andrabus, his channel there. So that was yesterday. We did some web API or whatever it's called these days. I don't know. Maybe you know, Kevin Griffin. Do we still call it web API, or we just call it ASP.NET Core and that's it? It sort of lost that special name. I don't know. .NET Core and some Couchbase, which was a lot of fun to go through that. It's all ASP.NET Core is what Kevin Griff says. So there you go. But I think what he meant, controllers are all controllers. There's no separate namespaces anymore. But what he meant by Web API was it was a ASP.NET Core project that is basically just meant to be like a REST API, HTTP endpoints returning JSON sort of thing. It wasn't using Razor or anything like that. So that's what we were building. I knew what he meant. I just didn't know if that was the correct term anymore. Nothing new on the PHP Tech front just yet. I know I'm working on an article for magazine, one of this organization's magazine. So more details on that as I get it. I'm also working on Pluralsight content. I generally don't plug that on a regular basis, but I'm working on Pluralsight stuff. So that's going on now too. May 5th, which is coming up here. Let's see, that's going to be in just less than 2 weeks. But I'll be presenting the JSON data modeling session to the GDG Cloud group based in Oslo, Norway. I'll be presenting virtually, of course. And I'll also be presenting, I hope, at the NDC Oslo conference, which is going to be virtual. I haven't heard from them in a while, so I just sent an email this morning sort of asking them. I know they're busy with other NDC conferences, but just wanted to confirm that it's still happening. And I just wanted to let them know I'm still able to present there if they'll still have me. And the Live Coders Conference is coming up. The second Live Coders Conference, by the way, is coming up on June 20th. And that is just under 2 months away. April, May, June, right. So that is going to be a very exciting event. If you want to learn more about that, check out livecoders.dev. You'll learn more about the team there, and there'll also be some material posted about the upcoming conference, which was amazing the last time. We had 15,000 people at one point checking out the channel. So that was very cool to see that. And I'm hoping to be a speaker on it this time. We'll see if I get selected or not. But either way, it's an amazing, fun conference. Definitely want to check that out. Livecoders.dev. Mark it on your calendar, June 20th. Should be fun times. Alrighty. So today, let's fix some bugs. And if you have questions, always ask away. Ask those questions during the stream here. And then last thing I want to do is I want to get ready for Conduct tonight. And what I mean by that is basically I'm going to be streaming that to Twitch, to my Twitch channel tonight. That'll be starting around, I don't know, let's say around 6 o'clock p.m. tonight, maybe a little earlier. But it'll be a virtual user group, much like I presented at Kevin Griffin's user group in Hampton Roads. I'm not presenting this time, but I will be hosting the meetup. The presentation will be Bhaskar Rao. Hope I'm saying that right, but I can't actually bring up the webpage here. And anyone can go to this, right? Because it's virtual now. It's usually just a Columbus, Ohio, Central Ohio event, but it's virtual now. And so you can see here we've got the upcoming event. This is going to be GraphQL, specifically in a .NET environment. So I'm looking forward to this because I explored GraphQL a little bit on the stream here a week or so ago and had some, I don't know, had a hard time getting started with that. So I'm interested to see what Bhaskar comes up with here. We got a pretty good list of attendees so far. But definitely want to check that out. It'll be hosted here on Twitch, 6 p.m. That's Eastern U.S. time. So come check that out. Sign up. And what I'll be doing, since I'm hosting it, and I'll be using my bot to record people who are in the chat. And what we did last time was we used that to pick prize winners of like our normal raffle prize. So I wrote a custom query for that. And I'll just need to probably just make some small adjustments to that for the date and time range. To select a prize winner, but I want to make sure it still works, and so I'm not fussing around with that during the actual presentation. So definitely want to check that out. Go to the meetup tonight. You could win a prize. You're definitely going to see some cool GraphQL stuff with .NET tonight. And if you have GraphQL questions, we will have time for those as well. You can see Calvin here. That's what the custom emote for this channel is Calvin. And it's called Bada because Calvin and I used to work together, and whenever something would go well, he would say bada bing, bada boom. So I use that. I also added a new emote for subscribers. This is just a picture of my son's head. This was when he was very young, probably not even 1 year old, but he has such a happy expression on his face. I thought that'd be a good emoji to express yay. I've got another emote that's still in the pipeline. But that's not approved just yet. Alrighty, so let's get to it. We're going to fix some bugs. Let's go. Here's my sort of backlog of bot ideas. So I've got some ideas like a ticker message, rotating kind of banner pictures, maybe in one of the corners of the screen, something to send a message out to the chat every 15 minutes or every n minutes, that sort of functionality. A dashboard, so I can control these features from a single pane of glass, along with some of the other features I've got, like the static content, some of the commands that you can run the bot. And these are other ideas for commands. These are just sort of ideas that I've written down. I don't know if I want to actually create these. Well, I think I do want to create this defend one, because every time I get raided, there's really no defense that I can easily put into the chat. So I thought a defend command might be good. But I want to focus on some bugs. Didn't happen. So yesterday, Tuesday, it was Calvin, who's like a mod, a subscriber, everything here in Matthew D. Grove's channel. He tried to do a shout out and nothing happened. So this is something that's limited to just myself and moderators. So I want to make sure to see what's going on there, what the problem is with that. Did I break something recently? Do I need to write a new unit test to expose that problem, etc.? I also noticed that I've got the channel name hard-coded in startup, so I need to change that as well to not be hard-coded. Not that it's a big deal to change, but it should not be hard-coded there. And then we just saw the bug with Surly Dev's fanfare did not happen. Need to figure out why that is. And then the to-do, so Dota 2 Attitude comes into this channel on his lunch break every once in a while and talks about sandwiches, ham sandwiches. So since he's becoming a regular, I thought about giving him his own fanfare. And I came up with an idea for that with the Ham Girl clip. If you were here Tuesday, you probably know what we're talking about, but I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work for him or not. That's not a bug. That's just a something I need to think about at some point. All right, so let's get into the Calvin can't do a shout out bug here. So I'm going to open up the TwitchBot code. This is, by the way, all on GitHub. I will bring up that repo and make that the current project. So I'll just say set current project, and there's the GitHub link. So if you want to check that out, you want to submit pull requests, you want to use it for your own, you want to fork it, make improvements. I mean, pull requests are accepted, so please check that out. I would definitely appreciate it. Okay, let me just double check here that I have my sensitive settings on locally. I do. That's good. All right, so let's go into the shout out handler. Just want to check to make sure. So it says, is subscriber. Oh, you know, that might be it. It's the subscribers only feature. But Calvin isn't necessarily subscribed to me this month, which is totally fine. I still want this to be available for mods. So I'm wondering, is there a moderator? Yep, there's a moderator flag. Okay. So I want to open up for moderators too. I think that's only fair. If you're a moderator, you can do shoutouts as well. So first of all, let's go to the help handler and let's update this. So right now, shoutout says subscribers only, subscribers and mods only. Let's change that. And then let's go to, this is the shout out handler tests, unit tests. I know Kevin Griffin yesterday was talking about he needs to step up his unit test game. So I don't know. He said that he was rusty on unit tests. I don't know if my unit tests are quite up to the latest hotness or anything. But this is how I've been writing unit tests for a long time. I use NUnit. One of the cool things I've started doing recently is I'm using Visual Studio's live unit testing, which is a very cool feature of Visual Studio. It doesn't mean I don't use ReSharper's Test Runner. I still do use that as well, especially for debugging. But you can see when the live testing on, it puts check marks here if the test is passing, and red X's if it's not. And so you can see here all the tests are passing in the file that I have open. But I want to check. There's a test in here that will not do anything for non-subscribers. Okay, so this needs to be. Let's see. So I have a test here that says basically it only works. It will not work for non-subscribers, which is kind of a double negative. That's not a great way to express it. So what I could do is I could. So these other tests. See, I kind of want to make this a positive test, but I think I put this test in for a reason. Like I wanted to make sure that it was not going to do it anyway. So we'll say non-moderators. We'll create another test called non-moderators, and we'll say with is moderator false. So I think that'll make make this test fail. So these are not really good tests right now, I think is the problem. So what I should do, how should I go about this? So if they're, it should not do any. That's the problem with the negative test, right? It should not do anything for non-subscribers and non-moderators. Let's see. Well, so I could just make this non-subscribers or moderators. I could say with is moderator false. Hey, hi honey. Sorry, Surly, I haven't fixed the bug yet, but welcome back. And don't call me honey. Oh, that's not quite the same as don't call me Shirley. Okay, so that test is passing, but the problem is I didn't change the behavior, right? So I think what I should do is make this into a test case. Matthew Groves is filmed in front of a live studio audience. All right, so I think what I'll say is I'll just be like, oh, only in private then. I understand. Okay, so I want true, and should run a number of times. Okay, so I'm going to make this a test case type situation. So I'm going to test all 4 of these. True, false, false, true, and then false, false. So this should be a 0 times. So I'm going to make these parameters. So what a test case does is we'll take these parameters here, and then pass them into the test method. So I'll say is sub, is mod, and it's basically like num verified, something like that. Okay, so then I will just, instead of hard coding these falses, I will say is sub here, is sub, is mod, and then over here it says times never. I'll just say times exactly, and then num verified. So what this means is that if they're a sub and a mod, then it should it should be the opposite. It should be 0, 0. I can't type. 0, 0, 0, 1. If they're a sub and a mod, then it should. Oh wait, no. Yeah, I'm doing this right. Okay, 1 is correctly. If they're a sub and a mod, then it should send a message. If they're a sub, or if they're a sub and not a mod, it should send a message. If they're not a sub but they are a mod, it should send a message. If they're not either, it should not send it at all. Okay? It's or. Yeah, basically it's an or that we're testing here. That's kind of what we're doing, because that's what I'm going to do in the code. Is I'm going to add an or. So you see here the test is failing. You can see we could run each of these individually with the resharper now, just to see which ones are passing, which ones are failing. I suspect 2 of them are passing and 2 are failing. Shout out tests. Oh, so we got 3 that are failing. Okay. Okay, so then we have some fails. So I'll go back here to the handler, and I'll basically say if they're a subscriber, TBD Gamer, welcome. Love when a plan comes together. That's what it should have happened for you, Surly Dev. It should have been your own video clip and your little hype text message, but it didn't happen. So we need to look into that. So apparently the functionality is working. Oh, some sort of auto mod happening. I'm not sure why, but I'm allowing that message. I think you meant to say his intro. I turned on AutoMod, by the way. That's one thing I've done. So apparently AutoMod's going to notice messages that might be sensitive and then prompt me with them. So I don't know why I thought that message was sensitive. We could speculate. Let's please don't speculate. But I allowed that one. Yeah, TBD Gamer got his intro, but Surly did not. So I got to figure out what the problem is there. Okay, so basically, It says if it's not a subscriber and if the message is not a moderator, then we return default. Someone's Automod was super aggressive against me last night. I can't imagine why, Surly Dev. Okay. So it looks like I got another test to pass, but not all of them. So let's just go by this one by one and see which one is passing. So this one's not passing. So when you're both a subscriber and a moderator, it's not passing. Why is that? If you're not a subscriber, so that would be false and false. So that shouldn't... why is that? All right, well, that's weird. Let's see. Other test cases. That one's also failing. That one's also failing. What? So the only one that's passing is when neither of them are... they're not a mod or a not a moderator. So I'm going to change the name of this test. Shout out is limited to mods and subs. Okay, let's make sure I got everything okay here. Unverified 0 times. Okay. What else is going on? Parse username. Sup, MB Crump. What's going on? Let's get Crump in here. Okay. All right, let's just focus on one test case for now. Like, what is the problem here? So they are sub, they are mod, they can be both. It's possible, and it should send a message. I haven't specified what message it should be, but any message should be sent as a result of this request. Why is that not handling? Why is that not happening? So it might be my setup. So let's go through this and debug that test. This is one of my things I like already sharper. I can pick a test and start debugging it, and I have the whole test explorer and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, so there it is. There's the message. Yep, okay. So they are a subscriber and they are a moderator, so that's fine. Oh, I don't actually have... okay, that's the problem. So it's an exception here. I got it. It's a setup issue. With message, where must go over here. Shouldn't matter for the purpose of testing what it is. Oh, actually, I think it does. So some username. Still not liking it. Does use, okay, so there's some stuff I haven't mocked out. All right. Right, so what it's doing is it's reaching, you can tell by the red X is here, it's reaching, you can change some username, Surly Dev if you like. Someone said I can be quite testing. TBD was getting his tinkering with your bot last night, trying to get pub sub working. Ugh, I should have just used TwitchLib. Well, you know, maybe if you learn something and it was not, you know, it's not a waste of time, right? At the very least, you learned, hey, maybe I should use TwitchLib until I shouldn't. Surly Dev, you are quite testing. I think I have your name already in one of these tests somewhere, along with TBD Gamer and others. All right, so the problem with this test is I've changed the nature of it. I need to change the setup as well. So it's user to shout. I assume that's going to work. And I just need to make sure that so API does the user exist. That needs to be true. Because I have another test elsewhere to see, well, it's not going to shout a person out if they don't actually exist. So does user exist, and I'll have to user to shout some username. Doesn't matter what it is. I'll put that in here this time. Does user exist? I really doesn't. I don't actually care. It could be any string. Just return true. Is that asynchronous? It is. You know, here's the thing. I probably should call it does user exist async, right? Isn't that the naming standard? You're gonna have to tinker with TwitchLib, I think. Have you not? I figured everybody on live coding streams had used TwitchLib at some point. Returns async true. Try. Okay, there we go. Now we got passing tests. Let's come at these. So there was a question earlier. Can you annotate them? You don't live code. Oh, I could have sworn you did. Thinking back, I guess I never been in a Surly Dev stream before. The need for auth tokens, client IDs, user IDs, and the convoluted format of pub sub messages just made my head spin. Yep. When you try to build something that already exists in a library, robust library, that's a good exercise, because then you start to really appreciate how much work actually goes into it. I think I mentioned this before when I wrote my AOP book. I tried to write just the simplest possible AOP framework myself, and it was so much work just for a really, really simple thing. It was really mind-bending, so it made me appreciate the work that those libraries put in. Yeah, we do need a Surly Dev stream. What did stop you? You wouldn't stream under the Surly Dev nickname? I would absolutely tune into a Surly Dev stream. I think we need to make that happen. See, we need to see what makes you so surly. Okay, so all those tests are passing. So it was not really a bug that Calvin found. It was just kind of an assumption, a mistaken assumption. Right? It wasn't a bug as a feature, sort of thing, right? I only let it to subscriber. Code by mistakes. How are you? Thank you for being here, hanging out. Oh, this is you, Surly Dev. It's a different name. So I'm assuming that's what you mean. So Surly Dev and Code by Mistakes is your streaming name. All right. Well, how about I give Code by Mistakes a shout out? Code by Mistakes is a great name. That's kind of my philosophy, I guess. I think I've learned more through mistakes than I have with, well, I always make mistakes, so I guess that's the thing. You get the Twitter handle for it too. Oh, look at that. Code by Mistakes Twitter handle. I like it. You know, I remember when Daily WTF first came out, and it started publishing all these really terrible snippets of code. I feel like I learned a lot from people, from just posting bad samples of code, because then I could see, well, why is this a bad? Some of them were pretty obvious, but some of them they were a little more subtle, a little more insidious. I could see, why is this bad? How could I avoid this in my code? And things like that. So I really enjoyed that. I haven't actually been a regular on that site in a while, but I used to read it like every day consistently. Daily WTF. I even have, actually, let me show you something cool. This has been a while now, but the guy who created Daily WTF, here's a coffee mug for it right here. As you can see, Daily WTF logo, coffee mug. The guy who sort of started that site, Alex Papadimoulis, hope I say that right. He was at CodeMash, running a sponsor booth, at the sponsor booth for his company. I think he's either the owner or the employee of the company. Ineto, right? How do you say it? They're based in Cleveland. think it's Anito. These guys right here, Anito. So he was there. You just got the GitHub for Code by Mistakes. Yeah, Anito. Kevin Griffin knows these guys. Everyone there's everyone absolutely is awesome. So I saw him at the booth, and it was like a starstruck moment for me because I didn't even realize he was based in Ohio at that point. He was just kind of a celebrity to me. So I went up to the booth and I was like, "Hey, can I get a selfie with you? I'm a big fan of Daily WTF." I mean, he wasn't there promoting Daily WTF, but he was there promoting Anito. But I got a picture with him, and we started talking about it. And it turns out they actually had a few of these mugs. He kind of had them in his backpack or something, and he autographed it for me. So I've got an autographed mug here from Alex Papadimoulis, a Daily WTF mug, and I've never actually drank out of it. Ugh, actually looking pretty nasty inside the mug. Pretty dusty in there. But I've got that in my collection, so very cool. You know, asking for a mug. I don't know if he still has them, or it seemed like he wanted to do it on the download because he didn't have a lot of them. And if you saw one person getting an autographed mug, everyone would want it, right? But he'll send you one if you ask. Okay, that's cool. There you go. Ask him for autograph it too. But it says on his autograph says, Matthew, here's to some non-WTF code, Alex. So very cool. I like that. It's on my shelf next to my MVP trophy and stuff like that. So, all right, enough of that. Enough of me bragging about my coffee mugs. So that bug is fixed. Time to commit. Okay, here we go, and we're going to TwitchBot commit. All right, here's what we're committing. I want to make sure I'm committing to the right branch. I'm pretty sure I'm in. No, I don't want to be in released. I want to switch to master. Okay, that means I have to reload this solution and stuff, but no big deal. Okay, and we'll just start this over again. Commit to master. All right. So what did I actually change? Here's the diff. And so I added the help message that updated the help message that says this is subscribers and mods only. I updated the shoutout handler with just another and on there. And that one little and required me to rework my unit tests here a little bit. But I made them better, I think. I made it stronger. I made this to test case, and I think it's a better suite of tests. Someone did ask me, can I annotate those? I didn't get to that. I think you can leave. You can put like comments in here, like reason. Is that it? User who is mod and sub can shout out. User who is sub but not mod can shout out. This is something I usually don't do with test cases, and I probably should do it more. User who is mod but not sub. I thought annotation might be useful when looking to see which tests fail. You might be very right there, Surly Dev. That's something I really, try to do that with the test name, but with the test cases, it's a very good point that I could break down, okay, which one of those test cases is failing. So yes, is a very good idea. They will fail because we are all coding by mistakes. Yes. User who is not mod or sub can not shout out. So there we go. And so if I run these tests, how do they show up in the ReSharper test session, I wonder? Because that would be a more useful breakdown there. Let me close this one down. Run all those. I just want to see those 4 tests. Is this worse than talking to yourself? Oh. Hey, you should have code by mistakes also follow, so I can boost my follow numbers, even though you're the same person, right? Yeah, so it's not showing the annotations there. It might show them if it fails, I guess. Let's try making one of these fail. See what happens when it shows up. All right, there we go. Boom. Got that follow. Now you can subscribe to my channel twice, Surly Dev. You can subscribe with Surly Dev, and you can subscribe with Code My Mistakes. I'm kidding. All right, so that's nicely get my cat to follow you. Now we're talking. Okay, so this one fails. And the ReSharper test runner is not showing that reason anywhere. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Kevin Griffin. Thanks for redeeming my Buckazoids. Great to see you. Yeah, so it's not showing the reason there, but still, it doesn't hurt anything to have that reason in there. So I'm going to leave it for now. It would be nice if it showed up in the test runner. Maybe there's a different argument. It shows up there. So we've got explicit. Oh, we got description. Maybe description is what I should be doing instead. Let's try that one. We're learning by mistake today. Okay. Still not showing up here in the ReSharper test runner. That's okay. I think I like description better than reason here anyway, just semantically. So I'm going to keep that in there. Alrighty. So there are the tests, and so I'm just going to commit that. Expanded SO to allow mods to use as well as subs. Oh, I was just say previously sub only. Okay. So commit that. There we go. One bug down. Matthew D. Groves is hard-coded in a startup CS. Okay. So if we go to startup CS here, you can see that Matthew D. Groves is hard-coded right here, which is weird. Because I have... Oh, hey, thanks for the follow. Freda the cat. Oh, gosh. Now I've got three of you. Does your cat have its own Twitch channel? Is it like that Ducks channel where you can feed your cat treats by spending gems or something? Or what are they called? Bits? A little automatic cat feeding device? All right. Oh, yes. Funny story. I was trying out a Roku, a Twitch app on Roku, just to test it out and see what the latency was. It turns out pretty bad. But I put the Ducks show on my living room, and I left it on, and I left the room, and my wife came home, and she's like, "Why? What's with this? What's with the ducks on the TV?" So anyway, all right. So username. Why don't I bring in username here? Your cat streamed a few times last year. What does your cat stream about? What a weird question to ask to say out loud. All right, let me just make sure this still works. Cat things, duh. A dodoy. Oh, I've got a fail because I don't think I have any Couchbase running locally. 650 Enterprise. Nope, not run, start. It's Calvin. What's going on, Calvin? How are you? Fred of the cat with the cat face. Calvin, I'm now being followed by Surly Dev, Surly Dev's cat, and Surly Dev's alternate personality. Okay. Docker PS. And by the way, Calvin, I fixed the shout-out thing. Just fixed that. Just committed that before you joined. Turns out the reason was I had it to be subscribers only. So what it should have been is subscribers and mods. So I've fixed that. So now subscribers and mods can use the shout-out. So I haven't deployed that yet, but that is the reason why I did not allow you a shout-out. So I have fixed that. It wasn't a bug per se, but it was certainly something I overlooked there. This isn't one of my personalities. It is my cat's account. Right. I'm referring to Code by Mistakes as your alternate personality. Although, if you have an Instagram for the cat, oh my gosh. Oh, this must be some cat. Okay, so let's just run this, just sanity check and make sure it works. So if it works, then if I do current project, I should get double messages, and I do, so that's good. Good, so that works. I'm going to commit that. That's a relatively minor one. Oh, wrong button. She, of course, has her own Instagram. She objected to being on mine. Okay, so I just changed the startup. Remove hard-coded Twitch channel name from startup. No unit test for that. It's more of an integration test type thing. All right, second bug down. All right, the third one. I think this is the most critical, the most important one of all, would be why didn't Surly Dev's entrance happen? Calvin's happened. TBD Gamers happened. Why didn't Surly Dev's happen? Surly Dev Arrival did happen. Yeah, you did arrive, but it didn't play a video for you. Yes, yes, yes. You're absolutely right. All right. So there it is. I'm wondering if it's some sort of casing thing. Right? So if I hit the preview, there it shows up.
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. That don't know me, surely.
So it shows up, but why didn't it happen when you first chatted in the channel? Maybe it's payback for targeting people in Marbles streams. I don't know what that means. That sounds pretty serious. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to log in to my Couchbase. Oh, that's not administrator. I'm going to do this off screen because I have different credentials for my production Couchbase server that are way more secure than just administrator password. So I'm going to log into that. So here we are. And I want to check to see, and this is actually good because this is the third thing I need to work on today is the conduct stuff for later. I'm thinking of writing a Twitch chatbot so I can play all my multiple accounts balls and marbles without having to have 4 or 5 different browsers going at the same time. What is this marbles game? What are we talking about here? You guys playing fun games? Marbles on stream. What is marbles on stream? It should be arrived recently. So let me just check here. Surly Dev arrived recently. Didn't find him. So I'm wondering, like, is it Surly Dev? It says here you arrived 5:34 p.m. It would be cool in Battle Royale mode. I get accounts. Copper Beardy plays it frequently. Yeah, Copper Beardy starts his streams a little early for me, so I don't usually see those. It's a game where the streamer can start it up, people in chat can join, then it drops marbles down some insane course. Yeah, there's no time zone here. All right, let me just try deleting this and see what happens the next time you say something, Surly Dev, in the chat. Is that going to be enough? So please, Surly Dev, say something in the chat. Something. What is going on there? Okay. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to check. This is the query that I need to make an adjustment on, but I want to check from Twitch chat where T dot, was it username? T dot, it's display name, right? What do I go off of in here? have to figure that out. But let me just look at the message first. T dot display name. T dot display name equals surly dev. Okay, and T dot message. Yeah, like something. This is something you just said recently. Okay, so there we go. So as your display name is surly dev, it's cased like that. Username is all lowercase. So which one is it actually using? User has arrived. So I'm getting username. So it should be lowercase. So isn't there a lowercase one? Oh, okay. Okay. That could be the issue. It's a casing issue. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? 1, 6, 6, 7th. Yes, you can set custom capitalization. So when I'm creating profiles, I should always create completely lowercase. That's probably a bug that I need to address. But okay. At this point now, the next thing you type, that should trigger your video. So let's see. Sit back and wait for Surly Dev to say something. Yeah, your encapsulation is customized too. Gosh. You're killing me, Surly Dev. That doesn't count as a message? Something. Still not working. Okay. Yeah, I know your encapsulation is customized too, Calvin. I'm wondering. See, I've got both of them. So something's going wrong there. Why didn't it work? So I think the issue might be the way I track how you arrive. So let me just try this one more time. Surly Dev arrived recently. There it is. Okay. Now something should happen. I've said that before, but now something should happen when Surly Dev says something in chat. There we go. It worked. Woohoo! All right. So there is a bug there, I think. It's not really a bug, but profile editor casing, which is an issue I could fix in my profile editor. I've sort of worked around it here because now I have two different profiles, one for Surly Dev, which is Pascal case, and one for Surly Dev, which is all lowercase. So a profile editor should not allow that, right? It should always default to the lowercase version. So that's what I'm going to work on now. Go to our profile editor. Twitch username. Yep. There's a fine piece of web design there, by the way. Yeah, it's it's really only meant for me to use, right? Because I don't want to have to log into the database and change it directly every time. At one point I thought, well, I'll pretty this up, I'll add Bootstrap or something, but it's just for me. So, but the thing is, TVD Gamer, if you want to pretty it up, it is open source. So go right ahead, knock yourself out. Roy Kazak, what happens with a name with UTF codes? I don't know. Is that something? I mean, I guess I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. But I guess we'd have to figure out how Twitch handles UTF codes and names. It may not allow them. Gan Kuskin, hello, thank you for joining. Good to see you. Yeah, Twitch may not allow them, for all I know. No idea. I just know that I've learned now that I think I knew this already, but I just kind of put it together. What's the UTF code for poop emote? I'll go register it. Of course you will. Of course you will. But the display name is something different than username, and I don't think I use display name anywhere in this code base. I should check that to make sure. Surly of type poop. Yeah, I don't use display name anywhere. I'm always using username, so that's fine. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it definitely could cause side effects in this. Well, certainly in my code, because I haven't done any testing for that. So maybe I could write some tests using UTF codes. But okay, so I need a profile controller tests right here. So public async task. So here's the question: what should I do if I go to this profile editor and I use Pascal casing, for instance? Should I should just redirect, maybe, to the page where it's lowercase? I think that might be the easiest way to do this, right? I don't see why not. Okay, so if profile name isn't there an ASP.NET Core route casing thing? I don't know. Absolutely could be. We could look into that. That might even make it easier. I mean, I guess I would expect it to be something to ignore case. If someone capitalizes their name, it will break their intro. No, the problem is if I capitalize the name when I'm editing the profile. Because what I do is I create a document. You can see here, Surly Dev arrived recently. That's how I track if you have been in the chat recently with a document. And so the keys are case sensitive. So if I create a profile with Surly Dev Pascal case, that's not going to trigger anything because it's not going to match your username according to Twitch. I'm not sure if they have casing, but they do have a query string one, although there are config settings that we do in Startup CS. Okay, well, it's something to look into. ASP.NET Core casing route, maybe? Routing ASP.NET Core. Let's see. Something like lowercase, maybe? Something like that? I don't know. How do you enforce lowercase routing in ASP.NET Core? Well, you can accept what you want in the route and just lowercase in your controller can. Yes, that's what I'm getting at, is I would just, I was thinking I would detect, is it all lowercase? If it is, that's fine, keep going. If it's not, redirect to the lowercase version of this route. But if ASP.NET has something to enforce that, even better. Let's just see what's going on here. Well, do you need to redirect? I mean, technically I don't, but you know, I think that'd be a clean way to do it. Is to just, you know, I could just say Twitch username equals Twitch username to lower, right? But I mean, the problem with that is the URL on the screen will still be the Pascal cased one. So I'd want to redirect it so that the URL would match my expectations on the screen. Yeah, right, absolutely. Yeah, I could do that, right. All right, so I want to see, Calvin says the first answer here. Lowercase URLs equals true. So what is this? ASP.NET easy is okay. Enforce lowercase routing. Add the following line. So might not be your answer. Yeah. So what does that mean? What does it mean by enforce lowercase URLs? I guess we could try it, see what happens. Yeah, maybe I'll set a breakpoint here after I do this. But what I want to do is we're going to go startup.cs, and where is the routing, right? Use routing, and the difference was here. Options, lowercase URLs equals true, like so. Is that deprecated? Doesn't like that. That's an MVC, or that's an ASP.NET 2 answer. use routing. This is an outdated answer. This is from 2016, so this is almost 4 years old. It just forces the string in the route attribute to be lowercase. Otherwise, you could create a custom routing in your controller method rather than setting it in the attribute, which is not great, but it could work. It forces the route attribute to be lowercase. So, if it gave me like a I don't know. The thing is, here's what I want to avoid. If I go to this URL up here, I've got the Pascal case up here at the top, right? If that forces Surly Dev to lowercase, that's fine. That makes it work correctly. The problem is the URL here doesn't match what I'm actually doing, right? I want the URL to look like this, no matter what I put in as case. I want the URL to look like that. So I guess maybe that's not a big deal, right? But I kind of want the URL to match what's going on. And to me, everything past the domain in HTTP is case sensitive, and it always has been. And so treating it like it's not, I don't know if I'm really on board with that. But TBD Gamer followed you, right? The route attribute is going to take what is passed in. Yeah. So I think the easiest way to go about this is just kind of do what I was thinking. So, first we'll create a unit test. Yeah, TBD Gamer wants you to stream. And you know what? While I'm thinking about it, I should follow you as well, so I know when you're streaming. Code by mistakes. I don't know what this is. Twitch.tv/ What if I type in code by mistakes, lowercase here? See, it takes you to the URL. What if let's just see what Twitch does. So Twitch ignores casing and takes you to the same place. You just got to follow code by mistakes. So, yeah, I guess I think that whole option exists for case-sensitive operating systems running the web app. Interesting. Hey, it's Copper Beardy. Okay, so I want to write another test here. Async. Can't type. Task. If profile name is not all lowercase, redirect to all lowercase. Okay, and so something very similar to this right up here. Well, since Surly Dev inspired this, I'm going to use Surly Dev in my unit tests. And we're going to assert that, this is going to have to return something, right? And we want to assert that result is of type, it is instance of? Okay, I don't know. Redirect to action result. Something like that. So that test is failing, obviously, but say if Twitch username is not equal to Twitch username.toLower, then we're going to return redirect to action. Action name is profile editor. And route values would be Twitch username equals Twitch username.toLower. Something like that. Redirect to action result is what I want. What do I have over here? Redirect to action. Yeah. Okay, so that's passing. Other things are failing now, though. Why is that? Oh, because this is mixed case up here. So this will need to be Copper Beardy lowercase. I think the HTTP junkie using the bada bing bada boom emoji, you must have unlocked that with some Buckazoids, I assume, because that is normally a subscriber only emote. I keep calling them emojis. They're emotes on Twitch. Emotes. I got a new emote, by the way. Big bucks. I got a new emote, which is my son. A picture taken a while ago of my son. That's my yay emote. So if you see something that makes you say yay, you can use the yay emote. But the picture was just such a expression of just utter happiness. I had to use it. Okay. All right, so that seems to work. Let's try it here. Let's see what happens. I'm doing it locally right now. So, profile editor, and I will just do SpongeBob cased, Calvin A. Allen, and redirects. The other benefit to this is it actually redirects to that page and populates it. So whatever case I use in there, it's going to go to the same profile page. That's what I want. So I'm going to call that a win. What is this? Oh, Instafluff lurking. Instafluff's a good follow. I will Instafluff. Shout out Instafluff. And I'll also shout out HTTP Junkie, who maybe you want to let me know, HTTP Junkie, when you're going to start your streaming. Because I had planned to raid you today. Whenever you are going to do your stream, let me know. So I'll be aware that you are streaming. And maybe what are you going to stream about today? Maybe you want to give us a little sneak peek. 12 o'clock is when I should start. Well, for me, that was about 3 hours ago. So say 12 o'clock Pacific time is 3 p.m. here. So you're looking about less than half an hour. You're going to be streaming on Full Stack JS. That's React, Apollo, GraphQL, Couchbase, Express. Oh, here is some code from Gankuskan. Gankuskan. Gankuskan? Is that how you say him? Let's see. Constraint map. Allowed gods. Only gods constraints. Oh, so you have to like code up a constraint class? Yeah, I kind of got the Gankus like Genghis. Gankus like Genghis? I don't know what that is a reference to. So configure services. You've got this stuff in here. Let's see what this does. This is in the configure services up here. All right. So you've got this constraint map, lowercase. Oh, so we don't need this part. I don't know what this is. So it's a route options thing now. It used to be in use routing. You moved it to route options. Okay, well, let's see what happens if I do that. Take out the code that I added, which will make the test fail. It's fine, but I want to see what happens by just running that locally and typing in a URL there. So I've got profile, Calvin, and we'll do Allen, all in caps. Okay, so it's not quite doing the same behavior. It's allowing it, and it's treating it differently, right? So it's not lowercasing it for me. All right, so if I go to Calvin Allen, all lowercase, it takes me to this page. All right. So it's not quite the behavior that I'm looking for. So I'm kind of wondering what that actually does. And maybe that's for the controller names and such. But I figured that was already the case. I'll need to investigate this some more, I think. But I mean, what I got works. I'm not super hung up on it here, but just kind of curious. What does that do? What is that supposed to do? As weird should be lowercasing the URL. I mean, it's entirely possible I've done something wrong. What does this say? Gets or sets a value indicating whether all generated paths URLs are lowercase. Generated ones. I'm not using a generated one. I'm typing in manually. But that's a cool feature to have, because if I do want to change to if I want to create a control plane later for myself, I'd want those to be lowercase URLs. So I think I might leave that in there as a separate commit, but I'm going to leave that in there. So it's just that affects the generated URLs, which that makes total sense. That's a good thing though. That's fine. Okay. But back to here, I just want to do that. Okay. Making a test pass. Very cool. Genghis Khan. Thank you for that little tip. That's very cool. It looks like I got some other unit tests that are missing here. Maybe I should write some tests for this one. I probably don't have enough time, but that's okay. No, that's okay. It's fine. We learned something new. We're coding by mistake. So that's very cool stuff. All right, time to commit. Code by mistake will be the streaming channel coming soon from Surly Dev, right? We got your promise on that, don't we, Surly Dev? Okay, so I'm going to commit to check that one. Okay, this one I'm going to make a separate commit. I don't want that part of this one. So auto lowercase the profile name coming from URL. Tortoise who? What? I don't know. Oh, Tortoise Git is what I'm using here. You're saying Tortoise woo. Are you a fan of Tortoise, or are you being sarcastic? Because I don't see a lot of Tortoise Git used out there in the wild. It's mostly Git command line, or Calvin's favorite, which is Git Kraken. You'll use it at work. I don't know. I just like Tortoise Git. It just makes me happy. Maybe because I used Tortoise SVN for so long that I just kind of got used to that. But I just still like Tortoise Git. GitHub Desktop, I haven't tried that in so long. When I first tried it, it was like version 0.1, and it was written on WPF or something back in the day, and it wasn't great. But I haven't. It's probably like written in Electron these days, right? If you need an UI, mostly command line. Every once in a while, I'll drop down to command line, but I'm finding myself actually learning that Tortoise Git has a lot more power than I expected, so I'm using command line less and less. Kraken is okay, but I refuse to pay for it. Haha. When I need crossplay, I just use some scripts I wrote for Terminal CMD. Well, if it's just okay, then I can see why I wouldn't want to pay for it. I remember trying out Git Kraken. I thought it was very cool. It didn't quite fit in my mind, like the workflow of it. So I just kind of stopped really using it. But I know Calvin Allen's a huge fan of it. He's a Git Kraken ambassador. He loves it. J.R. Lawthorne, how are you doing? Good to see you here. SourceTree isn't bad. Never used SourceTree. Never used it. You only use a UI if you need to do something I can't figure out by command line. I sort of think the opposite, really, Dev. I only use the command line if I can't figure out how to do it in the UI. Maybe that's why you're surly. See, the best thing I think from Kraken is the merge conflict. Tortoise Git has a built-in diffing tool, I believe. You can also specify other tools, right? So I could potentially use Kraken's merge tool with Tortoise Git, but I like the one it's built in with. I also like WinMerge. WinMerge is pretty good as well. All right, so that's what I'm going to commit for that one. I'm going to do a separate commit. Setting up generated URLs to be all lowercase for future needs. WinMerge is good for diffing folders. Oh, interesting. I don't think I've tried that before. Or data files. All right, I'm going to push these out to the GitHub repo in the master branch. You can check that out if you hit the if you type in bang current project, you'll see a link to that GitHub repo. And certainly, if you want to spruce up the UI or put in your own put in your own improvements, you're absolutely welcome. If you want to use this bot to build your own, so Surly Dev, if you want to check out TwitchLib, for instance, you can pull this repo down and customize it to your heart's extent, to your heart's desire, I guess. Let's see. Diff merge is nice and free. Diff merge. I don't think I've used diff merge before. The Kraken one is super beginner friendly. They really put some thought into it. Well, it sounds to me, Genghis Khan, that might be worth a few bucks if it's really beginner friendly. And they put a lot of thought into it. But yeah, Beyond Compare is the bee's knees, says Calvin Allen. Well, there you go. I don't think I've ever tried Beyond Compare either. So do you use Beyond Compare with GitKraken? GitKraken also shares the knees of those bees. We got a lot of knees and bees discussion going on right now. Yeah, I mean, just for those who need it, I got used to the old diff tools. Both are paid though. Beyond Compare and GitKraken are both paid. I think GitKraken has a free version, right? Like a starter version or something. Minecraft has bees now, really. But do they have knees? That's the thing. Git command line is the dog's danglies. I mean, hey, to each their own. It's I've gone on record saying this before. I much prefer a nice UI to having to memorize a bunch of command line tools. Limited though, I need Azure DevOps, which causes me to need the Pro. Oh, okay, well there you go. Are you using that at your current employer, Calvin, where you just deployed, by the way, I might add, a successful Xamarin deployment recently for Calvin. So he is an official Xamarin expert. So you'll be saying Vim is hard now. You betcha. You betcha Vim is hard. I will use if I need to edit text files on if I'm SSHing into something, I will be using Nano. If I need anything that requires more than Nano can handle, then I will figure some other way to do it. P. Copley, hello, thanks for dropping in, P. Copley. Successful Xamarin deployments are few and far between in my experience. Well, I'm telling you, Calvin is the guy. Vim versus Nano Wars? No. This is not a Vim versus Nano War. Nano is just something that if I have to, I will use it. I do not consider myself a Nano fan, and I'm not going to put down Vim either. Yeah, add 1 to that successful Xamarin count, bro. You recently discovered :SP and :VS and :ENE. See, that's the kind of stuff that I don't really have room in my brain for. Like, I can barely keep what time of day it is in my brain, or what day of the week it is. I don't have room for memorizing all these command line things. Gerald Lawthorne uses Vim regularly. Idea Vim plugin with the JetBrains product works great. Turns into muscle memory. Vim cat end of file. I'm sure these are all kinds of your normal Vim ECATs Nano or ECATs Emacs. God. See, I can barely even keep the name of an editor in my mind. Your Vim Emacs Nano arguments. JetBrains is my secret lover. Well, not anymore, Calvin. Hello. Speaking of which, Calvin, do you know if we're going to have JetBrains licenses to give away for Condug tonight? Nobody watches this. Nobody watches this, but I have that message stored in my database now for all time, Calvin. Not sure. We usually have at least one. We had 2 last time. 2 licenses to give away last time. You won a license for Rider. Did you win one at the last month's Condug? Or did you just win one in general? Rider is my true love. Rider's very cool. I like Rider. I think I like Visual Studio more, but only by a little bit. And certainly I say that as somebody who gets a free Visual Studio license as an MVP. If I'm on the other side of it, then I might have different opinions. But Rider is very cool, very cool. Calvin is giving a presentation on using Rider to build Xamarin Forms for JetBrains .NET Days. That sounds like a tremendous session. JetBrains .NET Days. I think it deserves a little bit of promotion. The Vim plugin for Visual Studio stinks. I'll take your word for it. JetBrains .NET Days online. I will say, if I was on Windows, Visual Studio is my go-to. On Mac, Writer is better than Visual Studio for Mac. Very interesting, Calvin. These are the kinds of topics we should discuss in a podcast. No pressure. Just saying. JetBrains.net Days online coming up May 13th and 14th. Calvin will be speaking there. Let's see if we can find him on the list here. Oh, there he is. There's Calvin. Look at all these other great speakers. Who do we got here? Kevin Griffin. Hey, he was on our channel earlier. Look at that. He'll be speaking. Khalid. I know Khalid from Twitter a lot. Heather Downing. Yep, from Okta. I don't recognize most of the rest of these people, but those are some good names. There'll be some good stuff on there. So definitely want to check that out. I don't know. Hopefully I can make it to Calvin's session. I would like to go to all of these, but I don't think I can do that. Let's see. We got all kinds of people with their environments. I got spoiled by IdeaVim on PHP Storm. Started some C# dev and Writer 1 simply because of IdeaVim. And Layla's also a streamer. Oh yeah. I think I've seen her. She's on the Live Coders team, right? I think I may have seen her around. Twilio developer evangelist. We got quite a few developer evangelists on here. Well, 3, I guess. Cool stuff. So that's cool. I'm looking forward to that, Calvin. So let's see. When's Calvin's session going to be? It's going to be 2030 to 2130 Est. I don't know when that is. Central European summertime. So that's 2:30 my time. 2:30 p.m. I don't see why I can't make that. May 13th at 2:30. Make a note of that. May 13th, 2:30 p.m. JetBrains.net, Calvin Allen. I don't do anything with Xamarin, but I would write a list, Bub. Did not see that? Oh, I'm telling you, I can't barely remember. I can barely even read a web page correctly. Here it is, right here. This is my time zone, I'm guessing. Eastern Daylight Time is what we're in right now, right? It's 2:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So I'm going to check that out for sure. I don't do much with Xamarin right now, but I do want to see what Calvin's been up to. I want to see all the kind of cool stuff he's learned with Xamarin Forms and Writer. That'll be some cool stuff. So I do like JetBrains a lot. I don't know if I'd go far to say I'm the secret lover, but I do like JetBrains. HTTP Junkie, good luck. I'll see you over in the channel here in just a little bit. Let's see. Yeah. All right. So J.R. Lawthorne's working on a Xamarin app. That's cool. Calvin's using Writer, RubyMine, DataGrip all the time these days. Very cool. Xamarin might be great for the checkbook ledger if you use that still. Are you talking about me? I do. I wrote a ledger. Wow. You must be somebody I know from somewhere else. But oh, you're keeping the repos. Yeah, I use that ledger app. That's an application I wrote a long time ago. It was actually based on a Microsoft Access database that I wrote for myself back in 2005 or something to help balance my checkbook, basically. I wish I could show it to you, but all I have right now is sensitive data about stuff I spent my money on. So I can't really demo it for you. You really dug back. No, I still use it every day, like literally every day. I just haven't made many changes to it. It uses SQLite. So what I've done is the SQLite file I just saved to a Dropbox folder, so it gets automatically backed up to the cloud. That sort of model will fall apart once 2 people use it, but it's just for me. It's just for managing my checkbook, my expenses, my bills, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, Calvin, maybe you should definitely do a little stream on this as well. Show off some of your setup for Xamarin and kind of the cool stuff you built. Yeah, it's and you're welcome to use that Ledger app. It's totally open source. Could use some improvements, but for the most part, I mean, it helps me remember to pay my bills on time and keep my checkbook balanced, and it's really, really helpful. for me. And I actually there's a component of it that runs in Azure. So my wife can also use it to, when she makes purchases, she can open up the website in Azure, enter the amount, the description, and submit. And then my local app can go and fetch those from the Azure website, on whenever I decide I need to start checking balancing a checkbook, stuff like that. The hard part is all my streaming setup is on my Windows machine, which is turned off while I use everything else on my Mac. And I've heard terrible things about OBS on Mac. I don't know. Never used OBS on a Mac. Okay. So where was I? You make your wife submit expense claims online? Basically, yeah. Basically, I do, yes. Because, the way that the banking system works is that you make a purchase, it doesn't usually clear right away, right? So just to keep an idea of how much money we have left in our accounts, we try to keep track of that. It's not like an expense report where I have to approve it. It's basically, she says, oh, well, I bought a dozen donuts today. Here's how much I spent on donuts, $5 or $10 or whatever. There's no approvals at all. Nothing like that. That's a whole different issue. And I can use it myself as well, but mostly it's for her. It was a much more simplified interface, so she doesn't have to go through all the rigmarole of picking which account, which ledger, and all that kind of stuff. It's just stuff you can put in. And by bouncing, so Roy Kazek there. Oh, at least you get a checkbook. By balancing my checkbook, I actually hardly ever use paper checks. So what I really mean is balancing my checking account with all the expenses we use our debit card for and stuff like that. I use checks when I have to, and I avoid them as much as possible because they actually don't show up as a pending charge or anything until they get cashed, right? So I'm always nervous about using those. I still keep a register, but haven't written a check in months and months. Yeah, unfortunately, so a lot of the stuff that my kids do, extracurricular activities, church activities and school activities, stuff like that, some of them still require checks. So have to write them every once in a while. I use Quicken, which now has online stuff. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's what I wrote is basically just like a really stripped down version of Quicken, I guess you can think about it like that. It was originally based on an Access database. Your daughter isn't there yet, but I sense tingle in the force. Yeah, you're gonna have to get that checkbook out when, she joins the swimming team or whatever, and they don't take credit card. That you need to bring a check to the meeting or something like that. So, or for fundraisers, they only take checks. They don't take credit card, and I don't carry any cash around. So, all right. So let me go back to my thing here. Profile header casing, that's done. Okay, so I think I've accomplished a lot today. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to push these things up. What's going on here? Push them up to the repo on master, just to make sure those are all there. Okay, and now I'm going to switch over to the release branch. Okay, and then the way I've set up GitHub Action is whenever I make a commit to the release branch, that will trigger a deployment to Azure. And actually, if you go look at the actions here, the last few commits that I did, or the last few pushes that I did, actually caused unit tests to run automatically. So you can see 15 minutes ago, all that code that I checked in, all unit tests passed. So those were automatically run on. This is kind of like my CI/CD type of setup here. And if I go and I'm going to do a merge next. Oh, Matt, did I tell you I got Easy Rep building in GitHub Actions? You did not tell me that. I know you're working with GitHub Actions. So that means you must have gotten it to run on ASP.NET Core, or was it already running on ASP.NET Core? I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've used that. Oh, it's not running on ASP.NET Core, but you still got it building in GitHub Actions. Oh, cool. Interesting. So I'm going to merge in from the master branch here. That's why it was difficult. I imagine you had to spin up a Windows container or something like that. You've got a long running branch for the .NET Core Switch. Oh, so you're working on .NET Core Switch. Got it. No, I don't. This doesn't commit. I just merged. So now I will push to the release branch. Oh no! This is the worst timing. It's a raid. Ah! Tyler, thank you for the raid. I will give everyone a few seconds there to wait for the ad to finish running. Oh, thank you for the defend, Calvin. Yes, that is what the defend command should do. If I had one, the defend command would show Calvin's bada bing, bada boom emote to defend the channel. That is what I need. I don't have that yet. I'm gonna work on that. All right, so probably the worst possible time for a raid because I just committed to the release branch of my chatbot. Hello, Tyler. Thank you for the raid. Is that an emote? The PowerShell emote? I like that. That is cool. That is a cool emote. I like it a lot. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a period of hopefully just a few seconds where the chatbot goes down while I'm redeploying it. Right now it is running the build and the tests. We just fixed a few bugs with the chatbot. We're having a lot of discussion about tooling and things like that, but fixed a few bugs today and got those all published. So that's all going out right now. So that's been deployed to Azure automatically through GitHub Actions and the Azure Web App there. So I'm going to refresh the chatbot here, which might take a little extra longer because I just submitted a deployment there. But anyway, thank you everybody for the raid. Thank you very much, Tyler. There we go. Bot's back up and running. I appreciate you coming in bringing in the raid. I'm about to wrap up myself here, and we're going on to raid somebody else. So we're going to keep it going, actually. But thank you very much for the raid. So that's all done. We got the bugs fixed. We've got the new version committed. We are going to keep it going. I do want to go over to see if HTTP Junkie has got his stream going yet, because that's who I plan to raid. He is going to be working on some React. He's not streaming yet. He'll be streaming in 2 minutes. So we're going to wait 2 minutes and raid him right as he's starting out his stream, really throw him off his game. He's going to be doing some React stuff. So he does a lot of node coding, a lot of node development. So React, Apollo, GraphQL, and Express, and of course Couchbase Server, because he is a coworker of mine. We're going to go raid his stream here very soon. All right, so what else? Tuesday, I will be streaming again. Tuesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday morning. Do you have to sign up to download even Couchbase Community? I don't think so. No. Couchbase.com/downloads. I think it's just Enterprise. You have to sign up to download, which don't tell anyone. You can have to put in real information there, by the way. Couchbase Server, Community. I can just get that. Yeah, you got to accept terms, but then get it for free. By the way, what I usually use is Docker to install Couchbase. I like to switch between versions of Couchbase, so I have a lot of different images of Docker. In fact, if I show you my Docker PS-A, these are all different versions and instances of Couchbase Server that I've used all the time. You don't see Community on your screen. Oh gosh. You're not seeing this section right here? Couchbase.com/downloads. You hit the little plus button here and you see Enterprise and Community right there. You're not seeing that. Well, that's concerning. This is a relatively new download page that they've created. So there could be some bugs to work out, but I certainly not expect Couchbase Server Community to not appear there. You followed a link from Google. If you remove the fluff the link got me, I just go to Downloads and see Community. Okay. Interesting. Send me the Google link you got, because I'm curious to know what's going on there. You had the old page this morning. Oh, really? This one's been out for a week or so, I think. I'm not exactly sure, but it could be cached. Maybe doing some A/B testing. Who knows? All right, looks like Eric is streaming, so we're going to start the raid here. We're going to raid HTTP Junkie. I can't type HTTP Junkie. There we go. So if you are a subscriber, you can use this message here that I'm about to put in the chat to just spam him when we do the raid. It's a raid, bada bing, bada boom. Just copy that. If you don't, or if you're not a subscriber, use an emoji of your choice. The important thing is to spam Eric's channel, give him some love. So I'll see you over there. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you over on Eric's channel, and I'll see you again Monday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern U.S. time. All right, everyone, have a good day.